I like how you can just, the wall just disappears and you just realize that this is all just happening in like a black void.
Oh, come on, Mario.
It's very deep.
Welcome back.
Welcome. I'm going to choose a topic to talk about.
All right.
All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
What do you think about psychedelic drugs? That's wrong.
Try again. Well, I've never done psychedelic drugs, so I can't speak in...
Well, I didn't ask you if you took them.
Well, no, so I'm explaining how I'm going to word my response.
Oh, okay.
So I can't speak from the opinion of having done them and what they do. All I can speak upon is I know other people who have.
All right, speak upon.
And how they felt. So, first I'm going to start off, I know a lot of people like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is someone who I really like. I'm a big Apple guy. We're actually capturing our video using a Mac at the moment. I had a PC once and I burned it. I think I'm going to go straight for the minigame.
Truth.
No, but I know Steve Jobs did psychedelic drugs. I'm not quite sure what he did specifically, but I know he did psychedelic drugs, and that helped him a lot. Made him get to where he wanted to be. A couple of my friends, actually, four of my best friends, and including myself, were all supposed to do mushrooms once.
No.
And the five of us agreed that we wanted to do mushrooms just because we wanted to try it. And then why am I leaving? And then the time came to actually do the mushrooms, and I was like, I'm not really doing it because I want to anymore. So I ended up backing out. And I know my friend Matt wasn't going to be doing it, and I gave my portion to him. That's what happened. So the four of them went to go. The four of them.
Why didn't you go with them?
I just didn't feel like it. Like, it just didn't feel right.
But you could have gone and not taken the mushrooms.
That's true. I don't even know what I did that day. I was doing something else. Entered this.
In fact, it's usually a pretty good idea to have somebody with you that is not.
Well, they did. They had someone with them.
And that's where Steve Jobs came in.
Yes. But so they went and did it. So three of them, were completely. They were like, they were
vibing. Nice.
They told me that they saw a lot more colors. What do you mean game over? Oh, you know what time it is now. Oh, they won't stay permanent.
You're really dodging the question here.
That they saw a lot more colors, and they had a better respect for nature, because they were in the woods when they did it. And then another friend outside of the castle, you freaking kidding me? He was like, nothing really changed for me. He's like, it was pretty much the same as I normally was. Just I could see more, everything seemed a little more vibrant. That's it. But the other three had this massive epiphany about how beautiful the world is and all that. Yeah. And
you trust them?
No. I mean, yeah, why not?
Well, no or yeah. You said no, yeah. So which is it?
Yes.
Is it no? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's probably different for each person. So it's not necessarily a matter of trust. It's just that's how they experienced it.
But do you trust them to tell you the truth about what they actually experienced? Because they could just be lying to impress you.
No. I definitely. Actually, that's very true. Because the one person who did tell me, the opposite of the other three, is someone who I would definitely trust.
I'm going to need you to be less specific about who these people are.
Less specific? I freaking keep falling off the same exact side. No, I'm doing it this time. I'm doing it. There's no doubt in my mind that this time is going to be the time.
Okay, so let's just take what they said at face value.
Okay.
Did it make you wish you had done it?
No.
So you don't want to have a huge epiphany about oneness with nature?
Well, I already think nature's colorful and beautiful. I don't.
That's such a cop out, John.
I definitely don't need mushrooms to figure that out.
Yeah.
That roses are in fact red, and that they look cool.
Yeah, but John, what is red?
It's just it's red is a name that we've assigned something.
And have you ever? Good job, by the way.
Thank you.
Have you ever watched the YouTube channel Vsauce?
Oh my God, I've talked about Vsauce on this channel before. Has Vsauce?
Okay,
has Michael ever talked about?
Okay.
I'm gonna submit a question to Vsauce. My Vsauce. Have you ever watched FireCore Fantasies? and just how good is the show? And I'm gonna want him to spend a week to answer that question.
Okay. They have. Well, I was reminded of an episode where they talked about color. Mm-hmm. And they mentioned, actually, there was another episode, I don't know if it was the same one, that talked about how the word orange, the word orange to describe a color wasn't always in the English language.
Yes, I saw that episode.
It was called yellow red. Mm-hmm. And it was spelled like GEOLOREAD, because the way that like Old English was phonetically pronounced and stuff. So, but it just literally was called yellow red, which is what orange is. It's yellow and red.
Yeah, combined.
And then
FYI for the FireCore fandom, there actually only are. Well, I mean, there's a lot that in the light spectrum to be seen, but in terms of like the colors, like there only are 3 primary colors, and those are red, yellow, and orange. I mean, red, yellow, and blue. I'm thinking about orange.
There's only 3 primary colors, just red and pink.
And brown. Red. Have you ever heard that Taylor Swift song, Red? It's like, imagine if Taylor Swift was colorblind. She's like, loving you is brown. Like, it's like driving like a brown Cadillac.
I know.
Everything is brown.
Well, join us next time.
No, we still got 3 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it wasn't orange, but orange became the word because they decided to call an orange.
Oh,
and
yes.
It was the color yellow red, so they were like, well, we might as well just call this color orange.
That's right. After the fruit.
Yes. So
the fruit had the name first, and then they called the color
by the name of the fruit.
Yeah.
So a prime example as to why I talked about I don't like owning pets in the last episode or whatever of FireCore Fantasies is because I do in fact have a dog here, and he is like freaking out outside, and I just know that it's going to pick up on the capture.
I mean, he's not freaking out. He barked twice.
Yeah, but you just can't hear him on the other. He's still going out there. He's just on a different side. I clearly had this level under control.
He had this on lock.
I was doing fine. And now I have to walk all the way back there.
Yeah, the trick about this game is that the louder you raise your voice, the easier it is.
At least I start off with 4 lives. So how do you feel about psychedelic drugs? That's the second question. Is that was
well,
the
that's
initial
the same question. I mean, it really is the same question.
Reassigned to a new audience.
I think that I don't really have any particularly strong opinions about any specific drug per se. Mm-hmm. I think there's something interesting about the experience, and that humans all over the world seem to be curious and captivated by the psychedelic experience, and some even think that there's some meaning to it. You know, it's because like you can either take the perspective that like the psychedelic experience is actually just what it's like to be poisoned. That like
why am I going backwards?
You've like ingested a substance that is so toxic to you that your body literally goes into shock. Such complete shock that like your consciousness is like being traumatized, because you're like on this border of consciousness where you're like possibly going to die. because of the extreme toxicity.
Oh, that's interesting.
And you don't die, and you quasi lose consciousness, and that corresponds, and that's just like the mechanical viewpoint of just you're poisoned, and this is what it's like to be poisoned.
Like that's how your brain reacts to it.
Yeah.
Except the actual substance doesn't damage your body.
I mean, no. So it's not like a poison that shuts down your liver or your heart.
But if you did consume something like that, would your mind react the same way? Well, we got to ask someone who's been poisoned to death.
I mean, probably not, because it wouldn't.
FireCore fans, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you've ever been poisoned.
Yeah, I mean, no, probably not the same way, but it's if the symptoms of that poison were you're gonna sweat a lot, you're gonna be dizzy, you're gonna, your vision is gonna be messed up. No, it's not exactly the same, because the psychedelics, by definition, affect your brain chemistry a certain way. But it's it's poisoning your brain, basically.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? Okay. Next time on.
But I want to finish this.
Okay, all right.
But the other perspective is that I
have 2 lives left. I'm going to do it by the time you finish.
Okay. Yeah, that the chemicals actually make you aware of a different level of reality. That you are stripped away from just the everyday surface level consciousness, and you're the hallucinations that you have are actually real. That you're not necessarily that they are real, but that you are experiencing or sensing things that your conscious brain typically never senses, and you are struggling to interpret them. And so you interpret them through the experiences you have already consciously had. So we're already familiar with colors and sounds and tastes and visions, and so we these when we have when hallucinations happen, it's that we're sensing things that our 5 senses typically don't, and we can only interpret them through those 5 senses. So it's colors seem more vivid because what we're seeing is actually not color, but we just kind of the only way our brain can make sense of it is if we just interpret it as color.
Yeah.
Or as a sound. So that there is something more happening besides just your brain going crazy. That it's actually your
brain's more activated than it normally is. And
yes.
So I actually I started getting really into specifically the neural pathways that information travels when you see things. So when when you see certain colors, or any color, when you just see anything, let's say you look at a tree, the light will hit your eyes, the color of the tree, all that, and that information will travel down a neural pathway, and your brain will receive it from your eyes, and that's one of your 5 senses that but when you look at another human being's face and you see their facial expression, it's actually a separate neural pathway that information travels and is processed by your brain. It's processed differently than when your brain's looking at colors. Mm-hmm. So you could debatably say those are 2 different senses right there. Well, they're different. There's different ways that each sense operates, multiple, and there's a lot of neural pathways in your brain that you don't use normally. Yeah. So you could debatably say that there are multiple ways to touch things, there are multiple ways to see things, multiple ways to hear things, multiple ways to taste things. There could actually be other neural pathways that are associated with a 6th sense, and we don't use any of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then people who possess telepathy, or like kinesis or stuff like that, are born with that ability to use an additional neural pathway that most people can't. Or when you take psychedelic drugs, those pathways are opened or something like that. I don't know that, but
yeah. Well, so that's the other argument and perspective on them, that it's not simply like a purely mechanical chemical process, that there actually is like a higher level of consciousness happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, actually, I think this topic is worth carrying over into the next episode of FireCore Fantasies.
On Cool Mountain.
So join us next time as we continue to talk about psychedelic drugs and neural pathways. And, who knows, we might even revisit pets. Probably not. But
giving your pet psychedelics.
Exactly. Bye, everyone.